Welcome to It's a Wonderful Life. I'm Peggy Hogan, Senior Citizen Coordinator for the City of Florissant. The City of Florissant is honored to host every year the Ms. Missouri Senior America Pageant at our theater here in Florissant. This pageant is where women from all over Missouri come to compete to gain the title of Miss Senior Missouri. It's amazing to meet these women who show their talent and their outlook on life and all that they do in the community. I've invited the pageant directors here to the show today to tell you about the pageant. Please meet Dennise Lafferre and Dr. Veronica Hilyard. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for hosting this pageant here in the City of Florissant. It's such an honor for us to have this here. And I want to start by asking you what this pageant is all about.
The Miss Missouri Senior America Pageant is all about senior women. And what we talk about is we give an opportunity for women to show other women what they can do at age 60 and above, and how they can contribute to the community, and they can enjoy life by being engaged in so many wonderful things.
Okay, and how do you go about finding these contestants?
Well, that's part of my job as the co-producer. However, I get a lot of assistance from the members of the club who will invite friends of theirs to be part of the pageant. We advertise across the state of Missouri about the opportunity of being in the pageant. And I can give you a story that, you know, and very often this happens. One of the members of the club saw a woman in McDonald's and looked at her and said, wow, she might be a good possible candidate for the pageant. And so she struck up a conversation and found out that the woman indeed, you know, did ballroom dancing, and she was involved in a lot of community service. And the next thing I know, I got a phone call. So we're all kind of recruiters.
I imagine. All right.
We watch and we look and we ask. We just see somebody that we think might be over 60. Sometimes we're wrong. They're less than 60, but we try not to insult them and say, well, just wait a few years and come to us, you know. So, and we have ladies of all ages. That's a remarkable part of this. From 60 to 85, 87, and they're still very active, and that's the important thing. So.
It's always amazing and remarkable to see these women every year and what they do in the community and their talent. And I know their philosophy on life and everything. It's amazing to see what these women do in the community.
They really are role models, Peggy.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to their life stories and their philosophies of life, many of them have had some real challenges and have worked exceedingly hard to overcome those, whether they were family related or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when you meet them on a daily basis, you would never know that, because they're full of smiles, they have a wonderful attitude, and they're very positive people.
So what are they judged on in this pageant?
You better.
Okay. Well, you know, the winner really is, first and foremost, must be a wonderful ambassador for senior women for the state of Missouri. So the elements of the judging are fourfold. Everybody thinks about the talent portion, and that is so enjoyable to watch and to engage in as a contestant. But there are other important elements. The interview is extremely important, and every contestant has an interview with a panel of judges. And in that interview, the judges try to ascertain whether this person would be that woman who would be this fine ambassador. And that's part of the score. That's 30% of the score. The talent is 30% of the score. There is a philosophy of life portion where the contestant says to each of the judges, "This is my philosophy of life," and that's a timed portion of the judging. And then each and every one of them has the opportunity through their application, to try to expose what it is about them that they think is important and would contribute to this role. Anyway, the amalgam of those four components goes into the tabulations, and then very mathematically, that person becomes
chosen.
Miss
Okay.
Missouri Senior America.
All right. Now, I can't help but notice your sash.
Here we go.
Well, I was Miss Missouri Senior America in 2012.
I remember that, actually. But-
And here I am,
Okay.
helping Dennise do this.
And I would imagine that's how people are chosen to run these pageants and to get as a participant as far as helping out in the pageant. Are they all past contestants?
Oh, yes, they have to be past contestants.
Okay.
That's one of the requisites. Also, it requires people who are willing to work very hard. Look at Veronica.
That is so true.
This is Veronica's first year. This is my 5th year. I don't know whether it's endurance or what it is right now, but it's a lot of work and a lot of time spent. As Veronica stated, her part is the contestants, and she works from November on, really, until the pageant. First getting the contestants and working with them, and I told her she went from neophyte to wonderful performers in a few months, and that's about what it is. Most of these ladies have not ever been on the stage. A few of them have, but a lot of them have not. A lot of them are just used to talking to their families and not talking to a big audience. It's a lot of work, and I do the business part. I just write the checks, and money comes in and goes out faster than it comes in sometimes. And we always feel like Florissant is a great help because it has a wonderful staff of people, and we say that this is our 26th year in doing this pageant, not always in Florissant. But the great thing is it's the best kept secret because people, you talk to them every day, they've never heard of it, much less where it is and so forth, So we have to get out and really do a lot of publicity on it and make people aware of what we do.
But don't you think the club members raise money for charity? That's one of our thrusts of our mission. And we do that through what we call showcases, where we entertain in nursing homes and senior centers and other venues around the community. And also the former queens do the same. And I think those showcases and queen shows that we put on help to inform the community about the pageant, albeit we also have publicity and other ways to do so. But we really try to get that word out, because there are so many women who can really enjoy themselves and enjoy their senior years doing something like we're doing.
It's always amazing to see that, how the different women that participate in this contest, their lives and what they do in the community. It's inspiring every year.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering if someone is watching this show today, how do they go about getting involved in this if they think it's something they might want to experience?
Do you want to tell them about contestants? Because that's I just pay the bills. I don't
Well, the first thing I would say is come to a performance. Come to one of our performances of the club, and better yet, come to the pageant.
Yes.
Which will be July the 12th here at the Florissant Civic Center, this wonderful James Eagan Theater. So you get an idea of what we're all about. But also, they can go on our website, seniormissouri.org, and look at, it really will give you a lot of information about who we are as a club, I think, and about our charitable work and our involvements. We're more than pretty faces. And then I would say give us a call. You know, you could call me or any club member to get more information, and we would be happy to give you any kind of information that we can to that would help you make your decision to be part of this.
Good.
The one thing I've always felt that, not because we're just in Florissant, it appeals to everyone all over the state, and that's how you meet the people. I have always said I would have never met most of these ladies had I not been in the pageant, because they have different lives, different places they live. We just meet, and some of our best friends we have now. 10 years ago, when I was in it, I didn't know anyone, not anyone at all. And to be a part of all this is just astounding. It really is. You make wonderful, lasting friends.
I think that's one thing in interviewing every year. Everyone that comes on the show and talks about it, it's such a rewarding experience, you know, that they've had and that they want to pass on and share with people. And that's partly why we decided to have this interview before the pageant this year, so that we can encourage people to come to this pageant this year and see what you guys, all the work that you guys have been doing for this, and to experience it for themselves.
Well, and you can still purchase tickets, and you call the Eagan Theater's office. It's 921-5678. I know it by heart. And they'd be more than happy to sell you tickets. And please come. The theater is a lovely venue. It has 525 seats, I believe. And we still have quite a few that are available. And we ask you to please come and just try it out this year and see if you aren't hooked and want to come next year.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both for joining me. Is there anything you'd like to add before we end the show today?
I would just like to thank you for the opportunity to help us get the word out about the Miss Missouri Senior America Pageant 2015, and to encourage people in the St. Louis community to come and to celebrate with us the splendor and elegance of senior women. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Veronica Hilyard and Dennise Lafferre, for joining me here today.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Signature right there, please.
To initial.
And I'll get your signature
right here,
right there,
and
if you would, where you
please.
see the arrows.
Here.
That's more money than you talked about.
As we discussed yesterday, there.
Don't let someone pressure you into a loan you don't understand or can't afford. It could cost you your home.
You can just put your initials right there.
I don't understand this.
It's fine. Go ahead.
Don't borrow trouble. Call 1-866-299-2899 before you sign anything you don't understand.
And joining me now is Ms. Missouri Senior 2014, Ms. Deborah Gross. Welcome, Deborah.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me what it's like to be Ms. Missouri Senior for 2014.
Well, when I first got the crown, you know, they kind of whisk you off away, and you're in parades, and then you're in a lot of showcases. To me, the probably, you think that your life's going to change, but I got to tell you, my husband didn't treat me any different. I still had to go home and do the laundry and do some of the house chores, so it wasn't quite as I
didn't think queens did that sort of thing.
I didn't think so either, but wasn't quite as queen-like as I thought it would be. Actually pretty normal the rest of my
So did you travel across Missouri doing these showcases, and you said parades?
What has been most memorable for me was going to the Missouri State Fair and dancing for a bunch of seniors, and actually judging a senior dance contest, and that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. Parade highlights, being in the St. Patty's Day parade downtown that was so much fun. You know, because everyone is waving at you, and it's just a really nice, fun feeling. It's something I had never experienced. There's been so many different things. The showcases where we entertain at the different retirement homes and hospitals, I always said that if I can just get one smile out of one of the retirees or people in the homes, that makes my day, because they are so appreciative of us coming and doing these shows. The other great thing about the whole pageant is being able to become part of the Missouri Alumni Pageant Club. And I've gotten to meet so many wonderful women in this club that are so talented, smart, funny, and it's been a real nice experience for me to go outside my other background and meet women who have, there's doctors, there's nurses, there's all kinds of different professions. So that's been very, very interesting and fun for me.
I think that's what's impressed me most about being somewhat involved in this and interviewing queens over the years, and just being involved and learning what all of you do in the community and your different ways of life. It's amazing to me.
Many of our backgrounds are very varied, just from the things that we've done in our careers.
I was going to ask you that, so we can lead right into that.
I have been a fashion buyer for 40-some years. And then when I retired, I thought, what am I going to do with myself? So I found out about this pageant, and I also have just been made a St. Louis strutter. So I tap dance with them, and that's been a great experience. But doing these shows with all these wonderful ladies and just seeing all the different talents, from piano, singing, I've seen so many different kinds of talents that you think outside the box, and it's been a great experience.
So where are you from? Are you from St. Louis here?
Well, I've been here 40-some years, but I grew up in Michigan, and when I graduated from Michigan State University, I had to move here to work for the May Company because there was a job opportunity.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
It was fun. I got to travel the world. Where else can you travel the world and on the company's dime? So, Asia, India, Europe, I got to travel everywhere. It was a wonderful experience. And I think that when, in the pageant, you have to have, there's really 4 components. You have an interview with the judges, which is off in a room. It's kind of private. You have your gown walk, you have a philosophy of life, and you have your talent.
And I was going to ask you about both of those. Good.
Okay, well, my talent, I'm a tap dancer. I hadn't tap danced for about 40 years. I got out my tap shoes, found out one day they were in the basement, they had dry rotted. That's how old they were. So I had to go buy new tap shoes. And
was it something that came right back to you?
It's kind of like getting back on a bicycle. Really? Maybe the old knees and some of the joints don't work quite as well, but it comes back to you. And that was, I've always enjoyed it. And actually the talent that I did in the pageant, I learned the dance when I was 10 years old. And I still could, well, parts of it I could still do. I had to tone it down a little bit. But I love tap dancing. Actually, I love all kinds of dancing, but it's great exercise. So,
well, and how about your philosophy of life? I know that's part of the judging process also.
Right. Well, my philosophy, it really had components of 6 behaviors that actually worked well for me through my whole life. And a lot of it stemmed from my parents, a teacher, and a CEO. And it's, a lot of times, I believe that your parents instill your core values, and teachers. And then if you're lucky later in life, you may, in your career, may have a mentor that will help you get through things. I always believe that engage people first with a smile, no matter what. I think it makes people more relaxed, or you're more approachable when you smile at someone first. The most important thing was, I believe, learn from people you meet. I am your nightmare on a plane, because you will not be reading a book. I will be talking your head off, because you learn about people. I have learned about so many things from just strangers that I may never would have had the opportunity of learning about if you don't talk to people. So that learn from people you meet is still very important to me. And I intend to keep on going and driving people crazy.
So you had a teacher back in, what, grade school, high school, college? High school. Okay.
She was a biology teacher, and she was like amazing. And then as far as, I've had several mentors in the retail world, and just a lot of people that I looked up to.
Well, how is it going to feel to pass that crown on to someone else?
You know, I think other people had talked about that, and I go, you know, it's time for the next person to take the reign and enjoy it as much as I did for the year.
So you would recommend this to someone else?
Oh, I think that this was out of my comfort zone, because I'd never been in a pageant before. Yes, I had danced when I was little, but I think the experience of just putting yourself out in front of people, well, I've been interviewed for jobs. That's a little bit different than being interviewed for a pageant. But just to get on stage and be able to walk and present yourself, you know, I'd never done that, and that was a great experience. So I think I encourage, you know, so many women over the age of 60, there's not a lot of places that we can really promote ourselves. Mm-hmm. And you know, this pageant, thank goodness we didn't have to wear a bathing suit, but that was a good thing. But every other thing is pretty much like what they do in the, you know, Miss USA, but the difference is what I think, because I've never been in Miss USA pageant, that there's more of a camaraderie within the pageant members. I became really good friends with, and it just so happened became my first runner-up and second runner-up. And we were all friends, kind of became friends. We were like kind of supporting each other before the pageant, and we're still good friends. So it's been...
And it's interesting that you'd never been in a pageant before or anything, so this whole thing was a new experience for you.
Total new experience, like I said, out of my comfort zone a little bit, but...
so if anyone is out there thinking about it,
I highly recommend, you know, for women to be able to showcase, and reaching that age of elegance, we've proven we've got the battle scars of life, that we have earned those.
That's right.
So I think it's a wonderful experience, and I would encourage, you know, you just, I've talked to so many, oh no, I couldn't do that, I don't have a talent, and I go, what do you mean you don't have it? Tell me what else, what do you like to do? You know, and some of them, you know, have read poetry, they have, you know, ventriloquist, and when you go to the nationals, see, if you win Missouri, you get to go to the nationals, which was a great experience because I became really good friends with the national queen who's coming here to our pageant. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be her valet for the 3 days, drive around. No, we really kind of bonded in the back dressing room, and she's a lovely, lovely person. So
I think it's wonderful that we had the opportunity here in Florissant to see this pageant and to see, like you said, the national Miss Senior America, I guess is what she would be, yes, right?
And, I've seen some of the one that came here last year, Carolyn Corlew. Yeah. She was amazing. She had sung with Charlie Daniels for her whole career, so she really had a artistic background in this new gal that's coming, Patsy Godley. She is a country western singer as well. So very great. She does a lot of Patsy Cline.
Oh, I'll be darned. Well, you know, it's always amazing, though, to see the different talents in even the Missouri pageant that I've watched, but even, you know, to listen, like you were saying, the different national competitors, the different talents that they have.
A lot of these women been in the nationals, they keep doing it. They've been in them, a lot of them, and they, you know, it's something that they enjoy. Personally, it's off my bucket list, but I think, you know, it once was enough for me, and I've enjoyed it, and it was a great experience just seeing all the high level of talent at the national pageant. I mean, the pianists, and actually, well, growing up in Michigan, the gal that came in first place was from Michigan. Really? So every time they'd call Michigan, I'd kind of want, oh, no, I'm from Missouri. But it was a wonderful, wonderful experience meeting these women and just seeing their talents and just the whole experience. And it was like almost like from Sunday to Friday experience. And it's in Atlantic City. So, you know, it was fun. It was fun. Just the amount of people that have been so just wonderful and very warm and, oh, what are you doing and what do you know, they want to hear. So I always say that, you know, I have my crown, I have my prince, my husband. I haven't found a castle yet that I have been able to move into.
Maybe in the future.
In the future. But it's really been, I think, just meeting the people has probably been closest to my heart. And like I said, just meeting all the multitude of seniors that appreciate us going around to all the homes. Because, you know, I've literally seen just about every retirement home in St. Louis. And but it's wonderful. I feel like this has been my way of giving back to the community, you know. So.
Oh, and thank you, Deborah, for joining me here today.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, I hope you enjoyed this show today, and I hope you've learned something about our pageant that we host here in the city of Florissant. Please join us this year on Sunday, July the 12th at 2 p.m. at our Florissant Civic Center Theater. Call the theater for tickets or information at 314-921-5678. And thank you for joining me on It's a Wonderful Life.